everybody, welcome back to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica. On today's video I'm going to be doing my 5 days of foundation wrap up for August 2018, and I am wearing actually 2 of the foundations on my face today, and I will get to them in just a moment. But if just to recap, I did powder foundations this month, and if you've watched any of my videos from earlier in the month, you'll know that none of them really were all that great. For different reasons. Some of them did not control my oils, and although I was recording the initial videos in July, it wasn't real hot, and I didn't go outside a lot. I don't leave my house a lot during the week, and most of those videos I recorded during the week because I do work from home 4 days a week. So that's really cool. I really enjoy that. But that means I don't really go outside and experience the weather. But I ended up being very oily at the end of the day for most of these foundations, which I didn't like very much. I also didn't get very much coverage on most of these foundations. So I know I did get a couple of comments from you guys saying that you only wear powder foundations on top of liquid foundations to either set them or just add a little bit extra coverage. And I totally get that. But I will tell you that, you know, growing up, if I wore a foundation, it was a powder foundation. And I know my sister to this day wears a powder foundation, or like a cream to powder drugstore foundation for the most part. She doesn't really use liquid foundations. So I know that there are people out there who do like to just use a powder foundation. So if that's you, and you have a powder foundation recommendation, please put that in the comment section down below, because I would love to keep trying these. Some of them aren't bad, but I don't feel like they're good for a fuller coverage in any way, shape, or form at all. They're just a lighter coverage. And number 2, I feel like they just don't hold up throughout the day. But I said in a couple of my videos that you could easily just like powder your nose or powder your forehead or whatever if you have the powder with you, which is okay if you have a compact. And 4 out of the 5 products that I use this month are a compact, so that's a plus. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. My number 5, which if you watch my videos, you probably aren't going to be that surprised to hear that this is the number 5, but it is the Tarte Confidence Creamy Powder Foundation. Now this is in the shade Fair Neutral. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. The shade is actually pretty good for me, but I don't like this because it doesn't wear well throughout the day on me. By the end of the day, this is the one foundation that, if you go back to watch my first impression videos, was the oiliest looking face that I had in these 5 foundations. Not in all of the foundations that I've tried, but in these 5. This one was the one that was the least oil blocking or mattifying of all the powder foundations that I tried. And by the end of the day, I looked oily. And on my nose, like, I remember just like, I literally just brushed the tip of my nose and like the foundation wiped off by the end of the day, because it was that my oils had come through that much. So that's really my only problem with this. If you're wearing this for a shorter period of time, if you're just running some errands, maybe running, you know, for an hour or 2, running some errands outside the house, this one would be just fine. If you just want to, you know, balance out your skin tone, it's not going to cover blemishes. None of them really covered blemishes. I still have a couple of blemishes here on my chin. None of these really did a very good job covering blemishes, but it might just minimize the redness a little bit. So, all right, my number 4 was this one by Pure. It's the 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 15. And I have it in the shade Porcelain, which is their lightest shade. I think there's only like 5 or 6 shades. The shade selection on this is very, very poor. I can't remember how many, but it's very, very few. This one I think would be used best not as a standalone foundation, but as a over your liquid foundation powder. I know there's a lot of people who really like the Celebration Illumination foundation from IT Cosmetics, and I would say that this is a similar type of product, that if you wanted to, if you wore a matte foundation, maybe you're more of an oily skin person and you wanted to wear a matte foundation, but you wanted to bring a little bit of life back to your skin, you could use this pretty easily. Now, my problem with this foundation was that it does cake up in my creases. especially around my nose. I have pretty deep creases around my nose, and this caked up right in there. So that wasn't really my biggest complaint about this. You'll see that for the most part, I don't have terrible complaints about these products, but none of them really wowed me either. So, all right, my number 2 and number 3 are pretty much a dead tie, but I did put one as 3 and one as 2. So for my number 3, I went ahead and put the Kat Von D as my number 3. It really wasn't because this was a bad foundation. This one is the Light 42. I also have the Light 44. I had to use a combination of the 2 shades in order to make it work. But my biggest complaint about this one, besides the fact that I couldn't really get a shade that really looked very good on me, was the fact that by the end of the day, I looked pretty oily with this one too. And this is a running theme with all of these powder foundations, is by the end of the day, I was looking pretty oily. Even the days that I'd never left the house, I was looking pretty oily by the end of the day. So, but the benefit of the powder foundations is that you can always repowder. So this isn't bad. I know that this is a lot of people's holy grail powder, that they put this on over their foundation and they absolutely love it. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous, but it just didn't work as a standalone powder very well for me. It wasn't bad. Again, none of these were bad. But I wouldn't really recommend any of them to, wear alone as powder foundations. All right, then my other 2 are the Makeup Forever Pro Finish and the Ulta Mineral Powder Foundation. So my number 2 foundation is the Makeup Forever Pro Finish. So this, again, was along the lines with the Kat Von D. It did give me a little bit of coverage, but it wasn't the best coverage that I've had. That's why I'll talk a little bit about the Ulta Mineral Foundation. I actually am wearing this today. I put this on first, and then I put the Ulta Mineral Foundation on over top of it. This is not a bad foundation in any way, shape, or form. The shade really didn't work for me, but I don't know that any of the other light shades will work for me either. My biggest problem with this, again, was the fact that it just didn't really last. None of these really lasted, at least not, it didn't keep me matte. None of these kept me matte. So anyway, my number 1 was the Ulta Mineral Foundation, and just so happens this is the only drugstore priced powder foundation that I tried this month. And this came out on top. I felt that this gave me the best coverage. There was a couple of problems that I've had with this, with it like creasing in my chin. It's a problem area for me. I know that. It's not a surprise. Around my nose, again, it's not a surprise. But yeah, so this one was my number 1 foundation this month, mainly because I feel like it gave me the best look. Now, it was a luminous look, but interestingly enough, by the end of the day, I didn't feel like I was that oily compared to the start of the day, if that makes sense. Whereas like the Tarte, when I first put it on, it looked nice, and by the end of the day, I looked like an oil slick, So anyway, number 1 for August is my Ulta Mineral Foundation, and I will wear this again. The other ones I probably will only use as powders on top of other foundations, not as standalone foundations again. So except for maybe, like I said, if I'm working from home and I know that I just want to run to the post office or run to Target, which is like a mile away, or run to the grocery store, and I just really feel like I need to put something on, I would easily put something like this on. I can apply it really easily, really quickly. Most of them have sponges in them or with them. So it's even something that I could probably apply in the car while I'm driving, but I'm okay with my natural skin. I don't have to wear foundation. In fact, I would prefer not wearing foundation over wearing foundation. So that's just not something I would typically do. I know there are a lot of people out there who will keep a powder foundation on hand just because if they want to run an errand and they don't want to go full makeup, they can just put that on, maybe like swipe one shade of eyeshadow on their lashes or on their eyelids and run, and that's fine. All right, so for September, I'm going to tell you what I've been trying out for the month of September so far. So this month, for September. August, I've been trying them out so far, but for the month of September, I am doing tinted moisturizers. I have never tried a tinted moisturizer before. I did use a skin tint at one point for a video real quick, and I'm actually trying that out for a full day wear test for September because I literally had just tried it out for the video and that was it. So for September, my 5 products are the Tarte Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer. I got this in the shade Ivory. So that is what it looks like. The next one is the IT Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer in the shade Fair Light. There it is. Then I've got the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Nude. And it just looks like that. And then I have 2 products that are more on the price range of drugstore. Number 1 being the Sephora Bright Future Skin Tint. Now this was, when I bought it just a week or 2 ago, on sale for half price. I think this is normally $18 and I got this for $9. Now this is in the shade Light Ivory. It looks like it says number 7, but I think this was the lightest shade that they had. So yeah. And then the last one is from Almay. This is the Healthy Glow Makeup and Gradual Self Tan in the shade 100 Light. This is the only one of these 5 that I've tried. I did try this for my Walmart clearance video that I did. And I liked it, at least on the original wear. I didn't wear it all day. I just wore it for that video and maybe like one more after that. But I didn't do an all-day wear test. So I'm doing an all-day wear test on this one as well. So those are the 5 tinted moisturizers, skin tints that I am trying out for September. So if you're interested in those, come back next week and you will get a look at what they look like. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please hit that red subscribe button, because I do 5 days of foundation every single month. I try out 5 new foundations, at least to me. Some of them are older products, but they are new to me. And then I always film this video at the end of the month, giving you my month-end roundup. I do wear the foundations throughout the month, so my powder foundations I've been wearing all throughout August. Most of my beauty box unboxing videos, you have seen these on me, and I typically will use them for any like get readies with me or anything like that I do film throughout the month, just so that I have a good feel for the foundations and how they wear and what they look like on my skin. So anyhow, if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below. I do appreciate it. If you have any recommendations for future foundation videos, I do already have a stack of foundations on my desk, or on my table here in front of me, and they will take me actually through the end of the calendar year. So don't hesitate anytime to let me know what you'd like me to try out. There are a couple on my table here that you guys have actually recommended and asked me to take a look at. And there are other ones that I'm absolutely open to trying in the near future. Just let me know what you want to see. Again, it'll be pushing January by the time I get around to getting new products, because I have all the products for October, November, and December in front of me. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next Epic Beauty Fail. Oh, and if you're wondering about this look here, it is my beauty box look. It is coming on Friday. So I'll see you then. Bye.